Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, it's a delicious matchup you won't want to miss. Food truck fight is coming to the Rust Belt in East Moline next weekend. We'll get a preview of the culinary competitors taking part.
Plus, the Bend Event Center is here with a closer look at the amenities, catering options, and services available for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, holiday parties, and much more.
Speaking of celebrations, we'll take a peek at a new wedding venue in Geneseo that's part of this year's Porches, Pools, and Patios community-wide tour. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live on this Wednesday, July 9th. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Morgan Otier.
And I'm Kyle Keel. Today we are going behind the scenes of a unique film project bringing Hollywood energy right here to the Quad Cities.
Yes, Fresh Films is the nonprofit behind a new family-friendly feature called 6 More Weeks. The organization is also training more than 100 young filmmakers from across the country.
Yeah, joining us today are Kelly Fagley, co-founder and managing director of Fresh Films, as well as Fox Dobbins, a Davenport Central graduate and a participant in the training program. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank
Kelly,
you.
welcome back to you as well.
Thank you.
First, tell us a little bit more about the film that you're producing, 6 More Weeks. Tell us all about kind of the storyline and the plot there.
So 6 More Weeks follows the journey of Benny, who's 11, overhears his parents. They're going to get a divorce. As soon as the weather breaks, they're going to the cabin and telling the kids. So what does any good 11-year-old need to do? He needs to fix his parents' marriage. And to do that and to extend winter and buy himself those 6 more weeks to fix his parents' marriage, he's going to steal the town's beloved groundhog.
Steal a groundhog?
And then, and then all sorts of mayhem breaks loose. and it's a very cute movie. It's very family friendly. It's kind of has a Home Alone style mischief.
Ooh, okay.
It's got a puppeteer coming in who's been on Sesame Street and other places, who's playing Gary the Groundhog, and so it'll be a really amazing opportunity for not only to bring the whole community sort of involved in terms of where the locations are happening, but also to train young people like Fox and 100 others on the film set.
Yeah, Fox, you are part of this production, and you're going to be working on it. So talk about what drew you to this program specifically and kind of the process in getting involved.
Yes, I joined Fresh Films about 4 years ago today. I joined through Central High School, which I'm a graduate of. My teacher kind of introduced it to me. I was a photography interest, and he's like, how about you try film? And so I've gone throughout the years. I've done 2 summer internships as of right now. This is my 3rd one. I've really caught a knack for filmmaking.
There you go.
I'm enjoying it. And so in a couple weeks, I will be doing behind the scenes for 6 more weeks.
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah, very cool to get that hands-on experience for sure. So Kelly, the production happening right here in the Quad Cities. It's got to be an amazing opportunity for our community and probably has a big impact as well.
I think so. We are filming key scenes down in Rock Island's Arts Alley. There'll be extras from the community. We're filming at First Lutheran Church in Rock Island, at Sylvan Island, at Blackhawk State Park. So a lot of community involvement, all the catering, all the so much of the, we have all these 100+ people coming in from out of town, from Los Angeles to Boston, coming into the Quad Cities.
How cool.
So they'll get to enjoy what the Quad Cities has to offer, but also work here in the Quad Cities as well. So it should be really amazing.
Yeah, it definitely will. I want to talk a little bit about this entire program with you, Kelly, because it's more than just making movies, as we've alluded to. You are training young talent in the process. So kind of explain that part of the program and just really what sets you apart, what makes you so unique.
So Fresh Films we're 20 years old, and we came to the Quad Cities in 2016. We have been training young people for behind the scenes jobs, but for not only jobs like at KWQC, but also there's so many nonprofits. Every corporation has internal social media and video departments, right? So it's all about teaching young people from around our community that these jobs exist, how to take on those jobs, the skills. Throughout the school year, which Fox has been involved in, we build their fundamental skills. They'll take different projects from start to finish, so that builds a lot of other things like working in a team, problem solving, managing your time as you take a video project from an idea to completion. And then the summer internship that Fox is in and a lot of other students are participating in gives them their IMDb film credit, which means they're legit, right? That other companies will
searchable.
say,
yes,
right? Other companies are like, oh, you've had this experience. You know, it kind of gives them the credibility they need that employers want to see to hire them for the future. And
very cool.
In Fox's case, sometimes it's college and then career. And so,
So Fox, you know, you mentioned that you've been a part of Fresh Films for a few years now. So, you know, you're involved with projects here and there. Have you ever been involved with a film project like this? And what are you expecting as you get to do a little bit of that behind the scenes work here in a few weeks?
Yes. 6 more weeks will be my first feature film project.
Okay.
Every other Fresh Films experience I've had up to this point has been, what would you call it? It was
unscripted documentary.
Unscripted
okay.
Yeah, more kind of like real people. This is the first scripted thing. I am a big movie fan, so it's a great experience for me to kind of learn more of an official, a bigger scale set, more people. More opportunities to do things.
Yeah, I love hearing that because I don't think that you realize the many different opportunities that you get. I mean, you've been a part of the program, you told us, for a couple of years now, and this is the first time you're experiencing this. I just think it really speaks a lot to the opportunities that people are provided through this. So Kelly, walk us through kind of a typical day for somebody on the crew like Fox. What are some of the different things that they'll get to try and get to learn about?
So, if you can picture a film set with all of its moving parts, when we do a production with Fresh Films in 6 more weeks, it is identical. So you'll have the camera department, right? The director is there. There's someone doing the slate. You'll have, you know, sound and audio, and young people will rotate through every single position on the film set. So that's the one, you know, thing that doesn't happen on a traditional film set, right? But in this case, Fox and others will literally, they might start in the camera department, and a couple hours later they'll be in the art department, they'll be building sets. And so we're up at First Lutheran in Rock Island. It's where a majority of the film takes place, and they're literally building out the bedroom scenes. Like, they're building a bedroom and decorating it, right? And that's all the set decoration that happens. They've got props and costumes and wardrobe and hair and makeup.
This is fun.
You know, the puppet, you know.
The whole behind the scenes.
The puppet, Gary.
Exactly, Gary is very cool. But it's amazing. They build out all of the scenes in the movie require different set design. And so it's pretty amazing, all the things that have to come together to make it happen.
Yeah, and Fox, you know, you mentioned that you kind of found a knack for filmmaking. So what do you think this experience of being able to be behind the scenes of 6 more weeks, how do you think that's going to shape your future?
It will give me a lot more experience and especially comfortable, more comfortable around cameras, equipment.
Sure, yeah.
Because when you walk into a film set, you know there's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot. Yeah, it's quite a lot. So, especially on a feature film set, I think it will kind of give me even more experience to kind of how a real set would work, and something that might prepare me for an actual position and actual career readiness. And free of charge for myself.
Absolutely will. That is super exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So before we run out of time with both of you, Kelly, what do you hope people take away from this entire project? Not only the film 6 more weeks, but truly your mission. I mean, this thing that you're pursuing, where we've got more than 100 interns from all over the country, just a diverse group of young people. What do you want people to know most after this most recent project?
Well, I think for here in the Quad Cities, there's so much opportunity. We have year-round programming at Davenport Central in Rock Island for young people who are in high school, but also ages 18 to 29-year-olds.
How could you not want to do this?
It's all free. In some case, for summer, they're all paid. It's all brought, you know, the community. We have so many supporters from the community: United Way, Quad City Community Foundation, RDA, others, Hubble Waterman, Bechtel. They're all supporting what we're doing to support training of young people. And so I hope, you know, do 2 things. One, if you are a young person and think this might be of interest, you don't have to be at Fox's level. You can just be like, this might be kind of cool. Come out and try it.
Got to start somewhere.
And then when the film comes out on Groundhog's Day next year.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
That was going to be our question.
Yes, perfect.
Then you need to watch it, right? And it's cool because we're a nonprofit. You know, all of the funds raised through the movie go right back into serving more people.
Oh, that's
like
great.
Fox, so it's cool.
It's a wonderful organization. If you want to learn more about Fresh Films and the training programs for teens and young adults, visit them on the web. The web address is there on your screen, freshfilms.org. Kelly and Fox, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck to you over these next several weeks. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks
so much. Thank you. Get your appetites ready because Food Truck Fight is rolling into East Moline next weekend.
That's right. The Epic Showdown is taking place at the Rust Belt, where local and regional food trucks will compete for your taste buds and your vote.
Yep.
So joining us to talk more about what's cooking are Bobby Ray Bunch, the event organizer, and Bo Easton. He is the owner of a food truck called Fork in the Road. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
It's your first time competing.
It is first time.
Are you excited?
Definitely.
All right, we can't wait. So, Bobby, you know, this has been going on for many, many years now. So talk about the food truck fight and the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, so this is our 8th year doing food truck fight. We've done it in multiple different states, but now we're at the Rust Belt in East Moline.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting. We've got just an incredible lineup of food trucks that you will not be able to find anywhere else in the Quad Cities. So a lot of those trucks are not from the Quad Cities, and some of them are.
Sure.
And everyone gets a vote, and this great voting sticker that says
You have to have an I
voted.
voted sticker.
I mean, yeah, you have to.
And it's just, it's great. Every truck's gonna have a $5 item for you to try out and cast your vote. We have got a voting booth inside the Rust Belt where you can cast your vote.
Wow,
And
very official.
I was going
and
to say
then
very, very, very.
they're fighting for this incredibly ridiculous
The belt.
Heavyweight belt.
heavyweight belt. And so we only have one returning champion who was our champion last year. And so we've got just, again, I can't wait for this lineup.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the lineup. I won't make you name them all. I went on the website today, and there are quite a few food trucks that have signed up. The one that's the returning champ, is that like it's hibachi or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course,
There it is right there.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
got Bo's. Oh, we've got it on screen right there. So I've heard of many of these, and you're right. Like some of them aren't local, and some of them you cannot find around here.
Yeah, if you look at like Cousins Maine Lobster, they're nationally known.
Yeah.
We have a truck coming this year that's strictly only fries, and they also do like dessert fries, which
love
I didn't
that.
know was a thing. So the thing that I love about this lineup is, again, we all love our local food trucks, but this is an opportunity to find these trucks that you won't be able to see anywhere else, and none of the trucks have the same cuisine. They're all
Yeah.
they're all individual.
Very
so,
unique.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right, so Bo, you know, you've been in the restaurant industry for quite some time. So what made you want to start your own food truck?
You know, it was just time to get out there and do it on our own.
Yeah.
Be able to spend that time with the family and the kids. You know, we put in a lot of time during the summer with it, and the kids love to get out there and help. But
I'm sure, yeah.
during the winter, it gives us more time with them and all of that too. So.
Okay, wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about your menu, not just for a food truck fight. We don't want to necessarily give away any secrets.
No.
But, you know, year-round, what can we find on your menu?
You know, we've got a variety of everything. So we do from wraps to burgers, grilled cheese, quesadilla, appetizers. So
All the good stuff.
I mean, you can find almost anything you want on there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
but
all
look
the
at
good
that.
stuff. You brought some today.
You
brought,
did,
brought
yes.
some of them today.
Morgan's been dying for a fry. So
I have.
you should try one of
have-
these. One of these
you
new
didn't
fries.
call me
Look at-
out
look
like
at those,
that.
Look at those tater tots. I'm
Said that in privacy.
I'm going for it first. So.
Okay, very cool. Okay, and can you give us a sneak peek of what you're planning on serving? For
One of the $5 items is going to be that tater tot right there, the loaded
a tot.
tots. It's a house-made cheese sauce, bacon, pico de gallo, and fresh ranch, homemade ranch on the top.
Can't go. These fries.
They're
These
so
fries are good.
So can I try one of these too?
You can definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. It's got
All the fries are cut in-house, blanched and seasoned.
Very
so.
cool. Okay, so Bob, talk a little bit about holding this event at the Rust Belt in East Moline. Especially for folks who've never been there before, what makes this really the perfect spot for an event like this?
So it's kind of like an indoor-outdoor hybrid event. So
Yeah.
the food trucks will be outside, so we're not as dependent on the weather, which obviously can be a big factor with big events. And
Yeah.
so then inside, there's air conditioning and
Yay.
bathrooms and running water and a stage with probably the best local musician we were able to afford.
Bobby Ray Bunch.
Bobby Ray Bunch will be on stage from noon to 2.
How'd that work out?
How did I know?
We had to pull some strings.
You did?
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And then we've got 2 other great bands that actually aren't from the Quad Cities, so they're going to be great. And then we've got entertainment for the kids, and again, that's where the voting is going to be and everything like that. So it's going to be fun.
That was going to be another question I had. Like, this is a very family-friendly event. You can bring the kiddos with you.
Yep.
You do have plenty of stuff there for them to do and to keep them entertained.
Yeah, you can bring your dog if you want.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
There you go.
Yep.
You get them, just make sure they don't get any of this delicious food. By the way, that has a lot of flavor in it.
Thank you.
It is very good. So talk about the voting process. You know, you make it very official. You got to go to the booth. So
Yeah.
How do we vote? Obviously, we got to try all the food first, and
It's very complicated, Kyle. We have to.
then I'm sure.
We give everyone that comes to the event a voting token.
Okay.
And you get 1 token, and then you try food, and then you got to go inside, and then we have a voting station, and you drop your token into the bucket associated with your favorite truck, and then we hand count them, like the 2000 election. There's some hanging chads sometimes, and then that's an old joke no one's going to get. And then we count up all the votes, and then at 7 o'clock we present the winning truck with the belt. We bring the top 3 on stage, and we declare the winner.
That's very cool. So. How you're probably looking to win this thing, right,
Yes.
Bo?
I mean, that's always the goal.
That's always the goal.
Beginner's luck, right?
How would it feel to be able to be like the food truck on top at the end of this? Because their food trucks are so popular right now. You know, it's got to be bragging rights beyond the heavyweight championship belt. You got some bragging rights there. If you
Definitely be some bragging rights, but pretty heavy hanging till the next year at that point. So they'll be coming swinging at that point.
Yeah, it's huge though, because it really does. I feel like, especially this event. I mean, it's such a popular event, Bob, at this point, that I feel like the person, the team that does win at the end of the day, you know, that's a big opportunity as well, because that you've got people that are calling you that want you to come to their event, they want you to come to their wedding and things like that. They know your food is going to be good. So yeah, it's super special.
And obviously, food is the center of this event, but really, it's all about bringing community together. I mean,
Absolutely.
And you've had a lot of support with this, especially here in the Quad Cities over the years.
Yeah, we have, and I mean, we've done it in a couple different parts of the Quad Cities, and I just can never believe how many people come out to this event, you know, and they get really excited about it, and it just really means a lot to us, the support that we've gotten from the community and our sponsors and KWQC and Quad Cities Live. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us and talking about this every year. And one quick question, Bo, because we're talking about the food scene here in the Quad Cities. We know there are some regional food trucks that are going to be attending. You've been in the restaurant industry for a number of years. How would you describe our food scene here in the Quad Cities and how it's just really kind of, I think, evolved over the last 5 to 10 years?
It's definitely grown. It's blowing up. There's more and more coming out, and everybody's trying new things, you know. The saddest part for me is not going to be able to get out and try everybody else's food at this event. So.
I'll take over while you go out.
Perfect.
Yeah, so should we get our tickets now?
If I were you, I would. I mean, hold on. We've got a low ticket alert. Just my producer in my ear. We got a low ticket alert. But that's the thing about the Rust Belt is we're limited on space. So it's, you know, if you want to guarantee your spot, you can go to foodtruckfight.com, get your ticket, and we give you some swag, koozies, sporks, all that stuff ahead of time. And then otherwise, it's $10 at the gate. Kids 12 and under are free.
All right, so you can get those tickets at foodtruckfight.com. Get them early before they're all out, right?
Yeah. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate it. If you are planning a wedding, a corporate event, or if you're just looking for a modern space that checks all the boxes, look no further than the Bend Event Center in East Moline. Since 2019, this state-of-the-art venue has become a go-to for everything from elegant receptions to professional conferences, even community celebrations. Joining us today from the Bend is Madeline Hanna. Madeline, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so excited to talk with you. It's just fun. It's fun to start thinking about events and planning for events, and I know a lot of people are right now. After all, it is kind of wedding season at this point, so it has people thinking. So let's just start with a brief history of the Bend. You're not that old. You guys have been around since just a little bit before COVID, which feels like how we kind of mark the timeline for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and with that, like, COVID kind of set us back a little bit, so we started building the building in 2018, and then we were planning on opening it in 2019, and then COVID kind of hit, so then that set us back. But then we started picking up a lot of business in 2021, and it has just skyrocketed since then.
Well, that's so wonderful to hear. And you know what's crazy too is I probably went to one of the very first weddings at, yes, I did. My best friend had her ceremony and her reception in the space. So I can tell you firsthand that it was absolutely beautiful and very, very fun. So describe your location. We know you're in East Moline, but kind of give us the lay of the land as we check out this video here on the screen.
Yeah, so it's in like the heart of East Moline. It's right along the Mississippi River, which is amazing for pictures. And then we have 4,400 square feet, but we have a lot of lighting, and then we have a lot of like area around the venue where you can take pictures, and it gets people excited about the venue because there's a lot of picture places there.
There really is, yeah. So that whole Bend area, for anyone who hasn't been there, you're seeing it kind of on the screen. right now, there is a lot of like green space, and it's like it's not too commercialized at at this point, in the sense that you don't feel like it's still beautiful. You still feel like there's nature around you. You've got the Mississippi nearby. It's really great. Okay, so once you get inside, you guys have 2 main spaces to work with.
Yes. So when you walk in, there's a ballroom, and it can be split into different rooms depending on how big the event is, or you can just have a event in the like jazz room is what we call it, and that's where you can do like rehearsal dinners or cocktail hours.
Oh, nice.
And that gives you the ability so that you can do your reception in that main room, but then you can also do the ceremony, and it gives people time to have their cocktail hour in that room, and then go back in for the dinner.
Really, really fun. So we're watching the screen. We're kind of seeing really how big everything is, but roughly how many guests can you accommodate?
So our capacity, we try and do 350 just for that area.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's what we can fit comfortably, but for like the jazz room, we could do parties of like 15. It just kind of depends, but we try and do 350 and stick with that to be comfortable.
That is good. That's really good to know, because sometimes people, when they're putting together some of these smaller events or maybe small conferences and things like that, they look at something like this and they go, oh, that's too much. It's too big of a space. We don't need something like of that scale. It's nice to know that you have that separate space where that people can rent out and focus on, where it's just on a smaller scale. You know, it's not like one or the other. So of course, parking can be a concern when you go to different celebrations, depending on where you're at here in the community. Not the case here.
Yes, we actually have concrete parking that can fit 200 plus vehicles, and that's a great option for us. Then nobody has to worry about transit to and from your wedding. Your car's right there, and it's great.
And there's
for our
hotels
venue.
Right there. That's part of the whole complex.
Yep. So we have the Hyatt and My Place. Both of them are in walking distance from our venue.
Well, we love to hear that. That makes things nice and easy. We want to talk about a couple of upcoming events that you guys are hosting. The first one being Rust Belt Americana Meal. So that is coming up here pretty soon, August 7th and 8th. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, so the Rust Belt Americana Meal, they're coming to the Bend Expo, which is just right by us.
Okay.
And so we're turning our venue into a dinner, and we've done that in the past, and it's been really great. So we have in-house catering, and we open that up as a restaurant. And so that's going to be on August 7th and 8th, and it's a 2-day event, and it'll give people the opportunity to see the inside of our venue.
Yes, this is a really cool opportunity to do that. Yeah, it is very beautiful in there.
Yeah.
And then coming up in November, you guys are hosting a bridal expo.
Yeah, so this is a great opportunity for brides and grooms to come in and kind of see the businesses around the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
You can get your flowers, your cake decorators, everything in one spot, or if you're just starting your planning process, it's a great way to meet those businesses and just kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, because it can be very difficult, right? There's just like a whole lot of stuff to think about and look at when you're planning something of that scale. So that's very cool. And if you didn't see it on the screen, it's also free admission. So a lot of times you'll have these expos are ticketed. So this is not the case. So I think it takes a little bit of pressure off people as well to do something that's, free admission.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about all the different types of events that you can host there, but even more so the amenities that are available. So when people are buying a package, let's say for a corporate event or a wedding, as we've been focusing on, talk about what is potentially included for a client.
Yeah, so weddings, that's what most of our events are, but we can do like receptions, ceremonies, and then you get a free tasting when you book your wedding with us.
Oh, wow.
But then also like corporate events, we have like pull down screens that you're able to pull those down and use your PowerPoint on those.
Okay.
And then we do like holiday parties. Sometimes they use those screens as well. But with like when you book your corporate event or wedding, all your bartenders and your servers or everything comes with that flat rate.
That's so nice.
And then like your tables, chairs, linens, glassware, and everything, that's free. It's not an extra charge or anything, which is kind of a highlight for our venue.
That is such a highlight, because just picking that stuff, I mean, speaking from experience, it can just become a little daunting. It becomes a little much. So it's nice to have a venue that has all of that stuff included.
Yeah.
And with that said too, I think in the information you gave me, I was reading that you will give folks just like a flat rate. So
Yes.
you don't kind of like piecemeal these things. I mean, you're able to tell them up front what this is expected to cost.
Definitely. That's what we kind of highlight with our venue, because you kind of get that first rate with other businesses, and then they do like hidden fees or like additional add-ons, and we kind of want to take that stress away.
That's nice.
And just put all of that, like, this is what you're paying at the end of the night. You don't have any hidden fees with that.
Yes. Okay. So after several years of you know, having this beautiful venue open, what's the response been like from clients? What's some of the feedback?
We've had amazing feedback, and companies are always coming back with their yearly parties. They keep coming back with theirs.
That's a good sign.
Yes, yeah. We've had a lot of great feedback from like weddings, people having a great experience with that. And through our process, we're great with communicating and making that event as less stressful as possible.
That is huge. Okay, awesome. Well, if you're watching, you want to learn a little bit more about the Bend Event Center, or even schedule a tour, visit the BendEventCenter.com. Very easy. You can also follow the Bend on Facebook and Instagram for updates and event photos to give you a little inspiration. Madeline, thank you so much for joining us today. You are definitely a wealth of knowledge, so we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Summer is the perfect season to draw inspiration from beautiful outdoor spaces, and one Geneseo tradition invites the entire community to do just that. It's called Porches, Pools, and Patios, a self-guided tour of 5 stunning outdoor living spaces. Here to tell us more about this year's event is one of the organizers, Amy Roberts. Amy, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to talk with you. I love talking about this event. I know we've highlighted it on the show in the past, but for anybody who is unaware, tell us about Porches, Pools, and Patios, how this event came to be.
Well, it started, I think, maybe 10 years ago, and it was an event where we wanted to give the community an opportunity to tour exceptional homes, and so this seemed like the perfect fit because we have a lot of great resources in our community. So each year the properties are different, and you get a chance to see fantastic landscaping and then outdoor spaces, and just relax and enjoy those spaces. And in addition to that, we added a luncheon in there at our church, and this year we're having a variety of salads and charcuterie boards.
That's so nice.
That's tucked in there that you can enjoy that as well.
It's a really nice element that you guys have added to this event every year. So this is hosted by the Lightkeeper Hospitality Team at Geneseo First Methodist Church. Talk a little bit about your group. You guys work really hard putting this together every single year. On top of that, the luncheon that you're talking about, which also takes a lot of work, and you have a lot of folks there that are serving participants.
Yeah, so our group at our church is responsible for it's the hospitality team. So we want people to feel welcome at our church, in the community, and so that's the heart behind Lightkeepers. So we try to make things beautiful and welcoming for our group. So we, that's...
You guys do a wonderful job with it, that is for sure. Okay, so again, this is in Geneseo, and I've got to say, if I lived in Geneseo, this would be like inspiration for me every year to like to strive to have just a beautiful space that at one point people would want to come and visit. Aside from that, the event is next Saturday, July 19th. It runs from 10 to 3. Talk a little bit about the locations that were chosen for this year as we take a look at some of these stunning photos.
Okay, so there are 3 locations. 3 of the locations are in Geneseo, the city. So, and those they have a variety of different beautiful
aesthetics.
Themes, and one of them is actually across the street from our community pool, and she has a beautiful conifer collection and a fairy garden, and just and then there are more outdoor spaces that have fireplaces and cooking places and a koi pond. And
that's beautiful. Yeah, I was on the website earlier today, as I told you when you came in, looking at all these beautiful spaces. So we've got the pools, like the backyard pools, things like that. One of them has a putting green in the backyard. A couple of them have outdoor kitchens.
Yes.
And like fireplaces. I'm not talking just like a fire pit, which is also lovely, but actual outdoor fireplaces. I just feel like this is a really cool opportunity for anybody that's looking for just a little inspiration for something they may want to do.
Absolutely, yeah, just to kind of be in that space and get ideas about how they would like to improve their home and what works functionally for, you know, having that outdoor cooking space.
Yeah.
So the two places, in addition to the 3 that are in town, there's 2 that are kind of on the outskirts.
Okay.
One that's north of town, which is off of Route 92, and that's the venue that's just recently been open for weddings and parties. Yeah. So that is at Shadow Lake venue, and it is a beautiful outdoor space that opened just last year.
Yep. Whoa, you're not kidding. That's gorgeous.
So it's right on the Rock River, and so far it's hosted bridal showers and graduation parties and
that's great. Yeah.
Other events.
Look at that.
And they have a wedding arch right there for services. So
I love that.
That's north of town, and then south of town we have another home that is a functioning farm.
Okay.
So a little bit about how you can upscale a farm
would love to see that.
Have a beautiful outdoor space in addition to all the greenery around.
Cool. Okay, so how does this all work? This is self-guided, correct? So you pick up your ticket, you purchase your ticket online, and you can do this at your leisure that day.
Okay, so if you go to porchespoolsandpatios.com, and it's the word porches, pools, and the word and patios.com, then they, through that, for 1 week, so next Wednesday is when the online ticket purchases
there it is on the screen,
So you can buy your ticket, and then it will be mailed to you along with a map.
Okay.
And you can start at whatever point you would like. If you want to come for lunch first, that's served from 11 to 2.
And that's part of the ticket price.
That's part of the ticket price, so it's $20. And after Wednesday, you can purchase tickets at the church in town.
Perfect.
Yeah, but you can start at whatever point you would like to on the tour. And then after, and you can stay as long as you'd like, and the owners for the homes will be there.
Oh, so you
can ask them questions
and things like that. Well, that's wonderful. I love hearing about this event every year. I'm glad to see it's back again. I think it gets more and more popular, and you know, you got a lot of people coming from out of Geneseo that just want to participate in this. So, Amy, thank you for joining us today and telling us all about it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes, and we'll get that website also on our website for you to click on. Affordable, accessible, and flexible housing is a growing priority in communities nationwide. And thanks to a new grant, the Quad Cities is about to take a creative step forward.
Yeah, the Quad City Area Realtors Association has been selected for the National AARP Community Challenge to launch a local design contest focused on accessory dwelling units.
Yep, Sharon Smith is the CEO of the Quad City Area Realtors Association, and she's joining us now to talk about this very cool project. Sharon, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, I gotta say, I saw this pop up on the calendar, right, that you were coming on the show today, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what could this be about?
It's interesting.
And then I started to read a little bit about this grant that you guys have secured, which is amazing because this was like thousands of different applicants, and this idea was chosen. So let's just start with that. What is the AARP Community Challenge?
Well, it's nationally, they have funded this for many years, a lot of projects in communities, just making them more livable, but it's really jump-starting, right, for long-term help for transportation, housing, internet, all of those different things, and all those kind of grant proposals were submitted, and ours was chosen, which
really
is,
cool.
I think,
congratulations.
Yes.
That's
so
cool.
Talk about the design that you submitted, because this obviously stood out for the association to be chosen.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with ARP being a big proponent of accessory dwelling units in the state of Iowa and Illinois, and because our association has jurisdiction in both states, it looked like probably a really good fit. to promote this.
Okay, so and that was the proposal. So for folks that are following along right now, to launch an accessory dwelling unit design contest, which I'm so excited to see what people come up with for this. So talk about that contest specifically. Now we've gotten through, received the grant, and so now we're really going to be hyper focusing here at the local and regional level. Describe how this all works.
Our committee met yesterday, and we put kind of some parameters, which is changed a little bit. Just we have decided, instead of having just one kind of overall encompassing contest, we're going to have basically 2 entries. So it'll be industry professionals, and then the other one will be students.
Oh, cool.
And we hope to have about 50 submissions, and in each category we'll have 3 top winners. Those will receive cash prizes. But what we're really looking at is having the ability to put these on our website and having them available for community members to download them and have a design idea that they can build.
That's the ultimate goal of this contest, is to actually put these ideas into action. I just can't wait. I mean, just looking at some of the photos that we just had going across the screen of these ADUs, as they're often referred to as, they are very, very cool. Like, what an awesome thing to place on your property or something like that. And ultimately, this is just like, it's kind of about just keeping families together as well.
It is, and AARP has been big proponents of this, mostly, keeping parents that can still be independent, but living together. Generations back, families did live, in the same households or in neighboring, and to have the option for a parent, possibly for a grown child, that's moving back.
There's so many uses.
Or for rental. For rental income. And the legislation in Iowa allows it to be either long-term or short-term rentals. Illinois, different municipalities have different regulations.
Very cool. And these can really add value to a neighborhood as well.
They can, and we are in a housing shortage in the nation. And when you think about putting in an ADU, and possibly having that independent aging parent living by you, and as a family unit, but then that also opens up that house possibly for another family to move into. And I just we are so grateful for the generosity of AARP, because we think this is going to be a great asset for the community.
Very cool. Most definitely. Thanks, Sharon. Well, visit aarp.org/community challenge for more on this national initiative. And be sure to visit Quad City Area Realtors on the web to cast your vote for your favorite design. Sharon, thank you so much for talking about this contest with us here today on Quad Cities Live.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
We're excited for future updates on this. We appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching today.
Your local news at 4 is coming up next. Have a great evening.